The key for the success of your business. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Mind Engineer community. Here, Tony Walker, sharing insight and tools to help you with your business to start getting it off the ground or even to the next level. So, if you're watching, I want to invite you to type down here hashtag live. If you're watching replay, hashtag replay. I would like to know if you're there, if you're listening, what do you think about this that I'm going to share? So, something I want to bring that very few people are talking about in the entrepreneur journey is about emotional intelligence and self awareness. This is something that now, for years, many big companies, multinational companies, are training their CEOs, CFOs, directors, different levels, right, in the corporate world, because they have seen that if people don't learn how to deal with their emotions, they're going to make bad decisions. And for those cases, those companies could lose millions from bad decisions from their directors, their CFOs, CEOs, right? So they have been introducing these concepts into the companies, right, and training their personnel in emotional intelligence and self-awareness, right? So why is it that in the entrepreneur journey we're not seeing as much as we should? Really, the answer, I'm not 100% sure, but I think that it has to do that it is a tough one. It's easier to focus on the steps that you need to take to build your business, like focusing on, the marketing, the branding, the messaging, the scripts that you need, the website, the automations, all of that. But it's amazing because as we see more this internet era growing and growing network, all of this, right? We're in this digital world that is getting bigger and bigger now, that we have everything now, but people are not really learning how to deal with emotions. I feel that more and more all these tools are being used to disconnect from ourselves. And it's amazing because even I've seen a lot of spiritual tools that are used to disconnect more than connect. And we need to understand that many times now, more so nowadays, people are looking for that connection with a person on the other side, right? Because nowadays, even with ChatGPT, why don't they go into ChatGPT? If you're a coach, consultant, they just go in ChatGPT and get their answers, right? Why would they want to buy something from you? And it's still possible to be able, in this era where we have all these AIs kind of providing information, is that people are still not taking actions. And I see this over and over again. I've been an entrepreneur for 28 years, and I see that things haven't changed much, although how much technology we have. And imagine, I've been an entrepreneur for 28 years when internet was starting to come out. Okay, I went through the modem, the 54 56K modem, that it would go, dial. You go to the dial and it would go, and then starting to connect with internet. I went through that to then, VSL, no VSL, but, cable and all that. I went through a lot of those changes. And technology, many things have advanced, but most of people are stuck trying to build their business, whether it is product based, whether it is service based, they're stuck. Why is that? More so nowadays with all the technology we have at our hands reach, that people are not being able to do what they want to do. And it has to do with lacking emotional intelligence. Having information, right? If we don't deal with our emotions correctly, it's not going to work, guys. And that's what I've seen more and more. And the self-awareness is being more aware of what's going on within you that is connected with emotional intelligence. And I started offering these lectures 16 years ago, but I still see very little in the entrepreneur journey about emotional intelligence and self-awareness. So emotional intelligence is connecting our emotions on our mind, on our heart, validating our emotions, and mainly validating the negative emotions. There's so many people out there that are talking about positive emotions, right? Feeling positive, being grateful, all those things. And that's great, don't get me wrong. But if you're feeling something negative, deal with it. If you keep running away, what you're going to see is the byproduct of not dealing with your emotions. I work with lots of people per week that are trying to build a business, right? And People are not taking action. They're procrastinating. They fall into perfectionism, paralysis analysis. They fall into, self-doubt, stress, anxiety, and they don't take actions. And those are the symptoms. Those are not the problems. And then you have these gurus talking about how to overcome procrastination. Oh, break things into smaller pieces, set alarms, push yourself. But most people are still struggling. Why could that be? Because actually, we need to start learning how to deal with our emotions. That's not something that we were taught. And that's something that the mind tries to avoid as much as it can, because there are sensors in the mind that can detect physical pain. And through science, it has been proven that those same sensors, they can also detect emotional or mental pain. So what's happening is you're moving away from the pain by telling yourself that you shouldn't feel negative, but you're still not taking actions. So if you really want to overcome whatever you're struggling with your business, it is important that you start learning new techniques. If you keep learning the new marketing tactic out there, the, AI that is going to save your company, the, script that is going to save your company, it ain't going to happen. For most people, it ain't going to happen. So what I recommend is that you start learning from your emotions. So what does that mean? If you're procrastinating, if you're feeling self-doubt, if you're falling into perfectionism, if you're falling into overwhelm, stress, whatever, stop, take a couple of breaths, relax, and then start asking yourself, okay, I'm not doing the videos I need to do. I'm not talking to people. I'm not offering. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing, okay, how am I feeling around talking to people? How am I feeling around having to do a video, to post on social media? And most people tell me at the beginning, oh, I'm okay with that. Then why the heck aren't you doing it? You're trying to convince me and you that you don't care what people say, maybe. But the truth is, if you're not doing it, you do, but you're trying to convince yourself that it's not that the problem. Oh no, Tommy, it's procrastination. Oh no, Tommy, I'm lazy. That's BS. Lazy is a byproduct of something deeper. Laziness is not the problem. It's a solution to a deeper problem. So again, how are you feeling? Let's start acknowledging if you're scared. Stop denying it. Fear is the most normal emotion when you're doing something different. We got to stop this nonsense of denying our emotions. A lot of people talk about the comfort zone, but do you know what's outside of the comfort zone? The fear zone. As soon as you move out of the comfort zone, the first zone you're going to hit is the fear zone. We all go through fear. Whenever I'm invited to offer a lecture, whether it is virtually or, in person, I might feel some things going on. I might feel some fear. But as a mentor of mine told me, fear is a good advisor, but it's a bad driver. So it used to work on hearing, listening to fear, but not letting drive the car. And that is very important to understand. So it's acknowledging your negative emotions. Okay, I feel scared. There's nothing wrong with feeling fear because everybody feels fear in different circumstances. Everybody. If somebody says they're never scared, David Goggins or whoever, I don't know if they said it, don't get me wrong, right? But it's BS. Fear is part ingrained in our human side. So we're all going to feel fear. It's what you do with it that is going to get you stuck or is going to allow you to move forward in whatever area you're trying to move forward in your life. So how are you feeling around doing this video, posting this, not being able to sell, getting people judging or criticizing you, getting whatever that is? Lately, I have had, yesterday I had 80 people add me in TikTok, and I did a little bit of advertising, very little, and I think I put like $10, $15 into TikTok. Now, yeah, a little bit more maybe with the Apple, because I do it through the phone. So I think it was $18, right? And I had 500 people that added me along a specific time frame, right? And some of them, not many, some of them, compared to the amount of people commenting on that video that I posted, right, and I put some money on it, I had maybe 10 really bad, nasty comments. And you know what I did? I deleted them. Before, first of all, I couldn't stand them. It kind of pushed me not to post. Second of all, as I kept on working on it, I was able to start posting and keep on posting. And I fell into needing to answer, proving myself, proving my point. And now you know what I do? I just delete them. I don't even spend time doing that because there's a lot of people that are going through pain and they're going to throw shit at you just because they're going through something difficult. It has nothing to do with me. It has to do with them. So just don't deal with them. So if you're not being able to do what needs to be done in your business, stop trying to find the next mechanic, the next skill, the next script, the next whatever that is going to slowly try to get you towards your goal. Start working on your emotions. How do I feel? Why do I feel this? And how does this make me feel about myself? So let's go back to posting a video, right? I'm scared of what people are going to say. Okay, what could they say? Oh, they tell me that you're a failure, that you don't know what you're talking about. Imagine that you don't know what you're talking about. How would that make me feel about myself? That I'm an imposter, that I'm a failure, that I'm not good enough. Whatever it is, that narrative that could come up out of a situation like that narrative, guys, people, it's already in your mind. It's a program that you have subconsciously that you're not even aware of. Remember that the subconscious mind runs 90% of the show, 95%. And most of the times we're not even aware. That's why self-awareness is so important in building a business, to detect what's going on inside of you in your subconscious mind. How do you access your subconscious mind? How do you feel? Your emotions. Why do you feel this? A little bit of narrative, emotional intelligence, and how does this make me feel about myself? And the fourth question that you can go even deeper, where could I have experienced or learned this? So imagine that I feel not good enough, and this has happened to me in the past, right? I feel not good enough, and I stopped myself from doing what I needed to do. I had very many failed businesses. Whenever I spoke up when I was at school or at home, there was or people making fun of me or people judging me, people rejecting what I had to say. So I had to learn to just keep quiet and not show myself. It was a defensive mechanism. So if you're struggling, try to start implementing a little bit more of emotional intelligence, be more aware, self-awareness of what's going on. Because I love this phrase from Carl Jung. He says, if we don't make what is in the subconscious mind conscious, that is going to run our life, and we're going to call it fate. I truly believe that we're all meant for greatness, that we're all meant to be able to create a different life. That doesn't mean to all of us become millionaires or billionaires. I don't know. I believe that we're spiritual beings, so there's much more than just money, okay? But at least is that we can change our life. We can create something different. I believe that we're co-creators in our life. But why is it that so many people are struggling? Because they're not dealing with their emotions. They're repressing, denying their negative emotions. So if you want to start making changes in your life, in your business, I would really recommend you start working on dealing with what's going on inside of you, your emotions, become more emotional aware, right? Develop your emotional intelligence skills and see how things can start changing. Let me know what you think down here. If you heard this before, if you have tried this, if you want to learn more, write the word here, entrepreneur, and I'll share a free training that I have around this that you can go deeper understanding the mind. It's a lot based on neuroscience that can help you really start making changes and launch or even scale your business. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoy this, and I'll see you in the next episode. Take care. Have a great week.